I'm making these videos because I don't know what to do in this moment, honestly. I just am incredibly grateful to be sober, to be whole within myself, and to have a connection with something greater than myself that helps me guide me through these days. I just sense in my highly sensitive nature that what we're going to be confronted with over the next decade is not anything that we're fundamentally prepared for, especially in the trance that we're all in. We have an irrational amount of input coming into us at any given moment, which creates a low grade hum of alertness at all times. This is not our grandparents' world. They got to enjoy life at a human pace. I'm 48, and I can remember my childhood being at a normal human pace. But we've all noticed it. Over the years, it has ticked up, and the world is very loud and very fast, and 2026 is proving to keep this going and maybe intensify it in a way that none of us are prepared for. And as we've collectively gotten to this point in our modern world of being so fast, we've all learned to regulate outside of ourselves by numbing, by distracting, and it's addictive. It's not just alcohol and drugs and cigarettes that are the quote unquote addictions of the world. It's doom scrolling, it's emotional eating, it's binging Netflix, it's news compulsion, and just generally looking outside of ourselves to be okay. It's a trance. It's a trance that we're all in. And so when I talk about addiction, I mean all of us. We're all addicted to distraction and numbing. And there is an enormous cost to this moving forward. Maybe we got away with it to some degree in past decades, but I truly believe this decade approaching us, the next 10 years, the ones who are going to thrive, let alone survive, are the ones who have let their addictions go and know how to come home to themselves. I know this intimately because I went through 2020 and all of that very addicted. I came into it in full burnout and was hoping that I was going to recreate my life and heal myself and start over fresh. And boy, was I wrong about that. Instead, the world changed in 2020 and I drank my way through it. And I drank a lot. And a lot of stuff was falling apart in my life during that. It wasn't just the burnout. My addiction intensified and my relationships were very much suffering. The world was on fire and I was internally on fire and I was making it all worse by pouring alcohol on top of it and distracting myself with news and doom scrolling and generally just not being very present or grounded. When I finally got sober in 2023, I really started to piece together a framework and a structure on how to resource from myself. Now, as I'm settling into 2026, I'm experiencing this entirely differently. I feel strong. I feel sovereign. I feel clear-headed and grounded and present. It's perfectly understandable to be overwhelmed and overstimulated and reaching outside of ourselves to distract and numb because it's all just too much. The 24-hour news cycles, all the decisions we have to make from the time we wake up to the time we go to bed, all of the different ways that people can get a hold of us and yet still feeling lonely and disconnected and not feeling a real sense of connection from the people in our lives. Scrolling on social media doesn't fix this. Pouring alcohol down our throats might feel good for 20 minutes or a couple hours, but then the debt comes due. When we lose touch with ourselves, when we're distracting ourselves from the world, we're actually distracting from ourself, our own knowing, our own grief and tenderness of what we feel, of our own wisdom. And we're all doing it. We're all doing it together and collectively. So we just kind of get caught up in it, and it's easy to get caught up in it. But this addiction to pain killing doesn't stop anything. It exacerbates it. It exacerbates our connection from ourselves, which is so crucially important. This is the difference that I'm sensing from my own reality in 2020 to today, is that I'm present, I'm grounded, and I have clarity. One of the things that we might take for granted with these coping skills of numbing and distraction is how it takes away our presence. And as a coach and talking with people recovering from alcohol and other substances, many talk about how that takes them away from their family, from their kids, that their kids know that they're not fully present. We're not fully present when we're doom scrolling or binging Netflix or checking out with alcohol. We're not present. We're half living our lives, and people feel it. But it's not just the people that we love, it's ourselves. We're disconnected from ourselves as well. And that's a pain that we feel, even if we're not acknowledging it directly. And this addiction costs us clarity, the ability to hear our own truth. When I was in addiction, when I was drinking so much, everything was so fragmented inside of my mind. Like I couldn't gain traction on anything. I just felt very scattered and fragmented, as best I can say it. And as I got sober, and now that I've been sober for almost 3 years, that coherence and harmony has returned. I have a clear head. And having a clear head and feeling like I can hear my own truth is vital right now. Our nervous systems are everything for this moment. How we're feeling in our bodies, how our nervous systems are reacting to the moment, we need to approach this from a regulated nervous system. Whatever is brought our way in the outside world, if we are regulated inside of ourselves, we can weather whatever storm comes our way. And we are not regulated by scrolling or drinking or numbing and not looking at what is going on. When we stop numbing and stop distracting, we're getting more connected to how we're feeling. And that can be really uncomfortable at first because that is why we're doing it. The world is overwhelming and we're not connected to ourselves enough to know how to feel our way through it. But I promise you, if you can push through what is uncomfortable and what is unfamiliar and start feeling what is going on within yourself, you will get to a point where you feel more alive than you've ever felt. This is the cost of numbing. When you numb the bad, you can't take out the good and hold that for yourself. It numbs both. And so you go through half living, numbed and distracted. That's the opposite of being alive. What I'm talking about here when I say coming home to yourself is sovereignty. When you are distracted and numbing and addicted in that trance, you are handing your power over to someone else. And that is not serving you. One of the things that I offer my clients when they're really struggling and they want to quit whatever they're doing is to pause right before you do the thing, right before you mix the drink, or before you grab your phone to scroll or hit the news one more time, is ask yourself, what am I trying to feel by doing this? What am I trying to avoid by doing this? Whatever comes up, look at it honestly, be curious about it, and have compassion for yourself. None of this ever goes away by being hard on ourselves. It might temporarily, but long emotional sobriety comes from doing this exact work. What is it I'm trying to feel? What is it I'm trying to avoid? Peace isn't out there. It's not in a bottle. It's not in a package of cigarettes. It's not in a pill bottle. It's not on your phone. And it's not from somebody else who's going to come and save us. You are the one you've been waiting for. But you can't find you when you're distracted and numbed. Can you be your own best friend and help yourself to be present and centered and grounded during this period of time? And if something is uncomfortable, are you willing to push through and find another way, even if it's unfamiliar or uncomfortable? What if this is the year to stop outsourcing your power and find true peace and freedom, even if the world is falling apart? A regulated nervous system, a clear, sober mind, and the capacity to be present to what is. The people who can do this are the people that will thrive no matter what happens. Terence McKenna has a beautiful quote that essentially talks about the difference between finding the answer and facing the answer, which I think is beautiful for recovery, but also for this moment. Finding the answer is intellectual in nature and easy. It's information, it's solutions, it's everything you see the AI bots are pushing out. But facing the answer is emotional in nature, and it is hard. This is the inner work. This is emotional courage. This is honesty, radical acceptance. It's understanding what is needed to be acted upon, what is needed to confront, and how we live with integrity. This is hard. And they don't teach us this in schools, do they? None of us know the answers right now. There are no easy answers or simple solutions. This is all new territory that we're headed in. And doing it with a sober, clear mind, being able to access your own inner truth and be present and grounded within yourself. If you are able to shift out of the distraction and the numbing into that changes your whole life. That's the opposite of being stuck and scattered and in survival mode. That's coming into harmony within yourself. There's a quote that I keep on my wall that I think is perfect for this moment in time, and that is, we're not going to find freedom from the storm. We need to be able to find peace amid the storm. And that is what a regulated nervous system and a clear mind do for us. If you've made it this far in the video, I'm making these videos because I don't know what to do in this moment, honestly. I just am incredibly grateful to be sober, to be whole within myself, and to have a connection with something greater than myself that helps me guide me through these days. I just sense in my highly sensitive nature that what we're going to be confronted with over the next decade is not anything that we're fundamentally prepared for, especially in the trance that we're all in. And so because I don't know what to do, all I know to do is to share about myself and share what I'm struggling with and what has helped me. Connecting with others and staying honest to myself. If there's anything that is helping you or anything that has inspired you to share something of yourself, please put it in the comments. Otherwise, thank you for being with me on this journey.